Whenever you arrive in this city, you'll see mountains and meet friendly people. And if you're young at heart, happiness is a yellow bus. For the more sophisticated, the accommodation is more appropriate. And the city itself, young and alive, still building. Everywhere the presence and touch of growing things, trees and flowers. This is a vibrant city, appreciated by residents and visitors alike. Vancouver, just being here is a celebration. Largest dry cargo port of the Pacific coasts of North and South America, Vancouver has long known the tread of international visitors. The sea is as natural an element as dry land for many Vancouverites. Within sight lie some of the finest cruising waters in the world. And then there's salmon fishing, every man's sport. And the big winner is usually the early bird who has done his homework, studying the productive spots, knowing the depths and the right lures. But of course, it could be just fisherman's luck, even for beginners. For as many as 7 months out of the year, Vancouverites and their visitors can enjoy snow sports on the mountains rising above the north shore of Burrard Inlet. It has been said that if you're a very active person, you can ski in the morning, sail in the afternoon, and play a round of golf before dark. However, most people prefer to take their pleasures separately, and sailing is predominantly a summer recreation. Among the largest of sailing crafts in these waters is Oriole, proud training catch for members of Canada's integrated armed forces. Whatever a man's aspirations, large or small, sail or power, he can dream his dream off the coasts of British Columbia. Or perhaps fast water is your number. This river is one of several that actually lie within the boundaries of Greater Vancouver. Just pick your brand of action, and somewhere in or near the city, there is a happening to satisfy your needs. slower paced, but no less engrossing for the participants, are the many park activities: pitch and putt, tennis, and meeting friends at the water fountain. Vancouver is a city well endowed with park areas, so that nowhere are you much more than walking distance from a grassy expanse, or a tennis court, or just a pleasant place to sit and watch the world go by. It's all part of a life process known as growing up, or just growing at your own speed. Unique and world famous is Thousand Acre Stanley Park. At once a blend of formal gardens and paved walks, contained within an almost primeval wilderness of massive cedar and fir trees, all within a mile or so of the city's core. The playful otters are quite at home in their run, performing for a new audience of children every day. Special credit to an already renowned park feature, the Vancouver Aquarium, is Scanna, the killer whale. It is hoped that Scanna will mate with her male companion and produce the first known offspring born in an aquarium. Vancouver's Chinese community is the second largest in the Occidental world, next only to that of San Francisco. The Chinese are among the city's first citizens, and there is even a theory that their ancestors traded for jade across the Pacific before white men came to British Columbia. Today, the Chinese community is a place of excellent food, interesting import shops, and wondrous excitements for all the senses. Part of the city that might otherwise have disappeared in the shadow of warehouses has been brought to life in the spirit of Renaissance. Called Gastown in the 1800s, Gastown it remains. But now it is an area of modish restaurants and boutiques, import shops, and offices of young lawyers and advertising agencies and film producers. The occasion of this parade and celebration was the official opening of Gastown. As a regular thing, the entertainment is a bit more orderly. Not so many guerrillas and politicians. Native BC Indians join in to make their unique contribution to the festivities. Most of the world's nationalities are represented in Vancouver. This is the annual Portuguese Festival Parade. The music and dances of many lands are displayed throughout British Columbia in a provincial government-assisted festival of the performing arts that tours the province every year. From relatively small beginnings as a cultural event, the folk festival has become one of the highlights of the summer entertainment scene at Stanley Park's Outdoor Theatre Bowl. Another annual event that has grown to rank among the world's finest is the Abbotsford Air Show, attracting civilian and military entries regularly from Russia, the US, Britain, and France, as well as flying clubs and individuals. The Abbotsford Air Show is a thrilling three-day weekend staged every August. The frontier heritage of British Columbia is evident to the visitor who rides a bus a few short miles from Vancouver. You don't have to scratch too deeply to discover the character and the characters of the hinterland. A number of rodeos and horse shows highlight the summer season around Vancouver. But strictly amateur and for the fun of it, the Pemberton Rodeo is guaranteed to become one of your more unforgettable memories of a visit to BC. Harvesting the forests is BC's largest industry, and logging is a business that breeds tough men. They work hard and they play hard. This is the annual Squamish Loggers Day held near Vancouver. Then there is that more sedentary and completely chauvinist pastime of girl watching. Vancouver has appropriate areas set aside for this endeavor, interfacings of land and sea, known as beaches. Of course, there are other things to do at the beach. In the heat of midsummer, a certain madness takes hold of the inhabitants of Vancouver. Paying homage to Sol, the sun god, these beach-bound primitives stage a sea festival which includes the world's first, best, and largest bathtub race. Starting point of the race is Nanaimo Harbor on Vancouver Island. The racing craft must be or contain a bathtub and an engine of 6 horsepower or less. Meanwhile, back at the finish line in Vancouver, a feast is prepared of barbecued salmon. This contest is a throwback to Klondike Gold Rush days. Those sacks of flour on the girl's back weigh 500 pounds. and the race is on. Elegance is the word for dining out in Vancouver, with a variety of cuisines to complement every mood. And the evening's entertainment might be a performance of Canada's National Ballet, or perhaps a touring Broadway play or musical, or a choice of symphony or opera in season. A most unusual haven from the bustle of city traffic is Vancouver's Conservatorium in Queen Elizabeth Park. Inside the vast geodesic dome, you are at once in tropical climes, serenaded by exotic birds. The surrounding Queen Elizabeth Gardens are a showplace of floral beauty, and the informal atmosphere makes the park a favorite place to relax and reflect on the infinite variation of living styles possible in this city. And that's probably the key to appreciating Vancouver, that intangible element of change. In seasons, in elevation, in styles of architecture, in people and their pursuits, at work and seeking leisure. Life is very full in this city, a unique blending of outdoor freedom and naturalness with civilized sophistication. A seaport and crossroads of the Pacific Rim, yet a city with its own distinct identity and its own sense of being. Vancouver, where you will enjoy year-round a Pacific celebration.